chairman. Then we've got also our general for the women. We've got the Secretary General.
Ayak tour has brought us to Zimbabwe, precisely Bulawayo. It's the second city in Zimbabwe after Harare. Our visit here has been very interesting and very educative. One of the sites we visited has given us a lot of information about the symbolism of animals when it comes to Zimbabwe. Upon further research, we have come to realize that the southern part of Africa together revere animal in a very special way that can link us back to African spirituality and the understanding of having animals around us and seeing them as part of our God self. At this point, Ayak is taking this initiative on to explain deeper on animals and their relationship with us. From culture system to religious system, we saw in Zimbabwe how each of the animals, especially the big five, had a deeper meaning and symbolism to the nation. Just as we saw in the New Testament and various parts of the Old Testament, where animals were used to communicate deeper mysteries to the people. Example, John the Baptist baptizing Jesus mentioned that he was given a sign to be able to figure out the one that was sent to give consciousness to Israel through a dove. We also see in various parts of the scripture where he is compared to lamb. This all gives us a deeper meaning and a better perspective so that we take out the negative connotations that we have given to animals on the other part of the African continent. Due to our programming these days, when we see animals around us, we tag them as they've been possessed spiritually. Animals have now become enemies to us based on our religious beliefs, which has programmed us away from the symbolism and the deeper mysteries behind the symbols of animals around us. We are urging everyone on the journey of spirituality and self-realization to go back, learn more about our animals, know how to relate with them, because we know that we can communicate to them from their realms based on a higher vibrations and frequencies. Therefore, these animals become more of friends to us than tagging them with negative connotations of witchcraft and being possessed. Animals over the years have different characteristics which we have observed, especially the lions, the elephants, the dove, the lamb. These characteristics of the animals are what we use in communicating spiritual signs and tokens around us. When we talk about animals in spirituality, we are not directly saying that the animals are performing spiritual duties around us. What we mean is that their symbolism and characteristics becomes a message to us through the spirit realm. So much so that if a dove is settled upon the head of a man, according to the New Testament, it is a form of the Spirit of God coming down upon a human. Animals are friends of humans. They are part of nature. We have to learn more about them, their symbolism, their characteristics, and why they live in certain areas so that we will be able to handle them in the best of our knowledge. When we learn about animals, the fear factor that religiously have been attached to animals, like the serpent that deceived Eve in the Garden of Eden, the serpent that prophetically was said to have bitten the heels of the son of the woman, has now left a scar in the mind of religious people, so much so that whenever we see a snake, it becomes an evil omen to us. Instead of getting to know deeper about the symbolisms of these animals and understanding when we see them how we can treat them, I am informed through my research that in the western part of our world, children are being introduced to snakes at a very tender age. They know the different kinds of snakes, the ones that can bite, the ones that are not harmful. And whilst they grow, they nurture the love for these animals. Compared to us, we tag them with religious beliefs and other evil experiences that other people have had over the years. So much so that anytime we see a snake, all we do is to attempt killing it or shout evil against them. Over a period of time, spirituality, religion, and other perspective of the African culture believe that every animal is a symbol of a particular spiritual realm in the redeeming of the life of man. Based on the cycle of life of nature, animals have become friends and also help us spiritually in our communication and in our survival. That is why sometimes, instead of you dying, some animals can replace you, not even through sacrifice, but also through laying down their lives or laying down their bodies so that they can lift you up. We believe that certain animals like dogs and cats are very friendly, and most of the time when they notice that you are going through some kind of sickness, disease, or spiritual problems, they are able to revive you by their own energies within them by laying down their bodies instead of you. So mystically, we are able to draw such energies from the animals for other spiritual purposes. But we don't just do it by killing these animals. Just as we believe that we can use animal for meat, some other people also believe that the spirit or the energy of these animals can be used in many healing processes and spiritual things. Sometimes we see these things in part of our religious beliefs in the Bible, where animals are used as sacrifice, specific animals for sin sacrifice and specific animals for cleansing, and other sacrifices that intermarry the existence of man and animals. The cycle of life, as nature has already created, enables animals to live on themselves and even humans to live on other animals. This is not the only thing we can do around these animals. Their symbolism and characteristics that have become a spiritual or mythical communication to our communities must be given more attention. If you want to interact with animals or use animals for any other purposes, be it spiritual or physical, we will advise you that you gain the knowledge, accurate knowledge on how these animals are being used for mythical or spiritual purposes and also being used as symbols of communication in our communities as Africans. We are on a journey to awaken the African community on our spirituality. Know that we are not far from nature. We are in nature and nature is within us. These animals are wonderful creatures that have surrounded us with love, more energy, healing, and other things. I learned in Zimbabwe how the fat of elephant is used to treat other ailments in the community. Not just elephant, but other animals, part of them, the bones and other part are being used to treat different ailments which our African fathers taught us that we have lost in these modern days. Both wild and domestic animals have their own responsibility in the life cycle of existence. All we need to do is to understand them, understand what they stand for, and why they are where they are as their habitation. This will grant us a more friendly relationship with them. Sometimes, these animals are there to communicate to us deeper meanings and deeper reasoning in our lives. Study the ant, just as the scripture says, and you have wisdom. These animals, in their life, in their processes of gaining their freedom, and also how they groom themselves, train themselves, speak to themselves in the cycles of searching for food and building their lifespan, will enable us to have a very different perspective of who we are and even how we are related to them. We need to study more about our animals so that we can appreciate their existence with us. The Creator has created each and every animal for a purpose. in the life cycle of our existence. Most of our animals around us have come to also serve us, like the camels, like the ants, even the mosquitoes. They are here to help us do cross-pollinations of most of our flowers around us. If we keep on searching deeper into why we use these animals for what, we will be best informed and we will not act out of our programming or ignorance, but rather from a well-informed perspective. Thank you for spending time with me. I'm Evelyn Warlson Annan. Welcome to AYAK.